I'm Erika.
And I'm Meg. I guess we just want to start off with, again, congratulating, good job, all of our fellow groups. That was really cool. You guys did really good work. We're not presenting a video. We're instead going to be reading something that we worked together, kind of a speech of sorts. But it's good. It's kind of, just to give a little bit of context, it's just kind of living in the Satchula community, living in Bua, just made us living in an environmental area with it just in our faces, working, planting trees, all of this combined, just offered a lot of questions, a lot of places to learn, and kind of like Blair said, we just kind of were left with more questions. And so this paper speech isn't really meant to be this is how we should do it or an answer, but more kind of just exploring new ideas and such.
Just exploring our process of thinking.
Hello. Today, our environment is at stake. We often hear about the harm we are causing. We hear how terrible the human impact is to our planet. We hear that we should reduce, reuse, and recycle, that to be environmentally friendly, we have to consume less, even if it inconveniences us.
Coming from different corners of the United States, a group of us came together on a program, Thinking Beyond Borders Global Gap Year West, to better educate ourselves about several of our world's pressuring issues. In the remote village of Bua, Ecuador, we began a project to plant over 7,000 trees on the land of the Satchula, an indigenous group native to the area. We were under the assumption that we were solely helping our environment. But we quickly discovered that this project was wrapped up in so much more. It included an economic and social aspect. Not only were we planting trees to reforest their land, but also to contribute to their economic and cultural preservation.
We began to question how these cultural and economic factors played into the positive environmental impact we had assumed we would have by coming to plant trees. Suddenly, we were aware that planting trees involved so much more than just planting trees. It felt like the infrastructure that made planting trees possible didn't support the environment or the health of our planet. We questioned how much we were actually helping. To begin with, we recognized that in order for our group to even get to Bua, we used numerous resources, including airplanes, buses, taxis, trucks, food, toilet facilities, garbage facilities, the list is endless. Once in Bua, in order to get to the work sites, we took trucks running on gasoline multiple times a day. Each baby tree was wrapped in a plastic bag before being planted. We wondered if our efforts to reforest actually outweighed our detriment to the environment. Noticing the garbage we were producing ourselves made us see all of the garbage surrounding us. There were empty pesticide bottles left among the plants we worked around, garbage on the sides of the road, trash surrounding houses and schools and churches. The gears of our brains began to turn and our perspectives began to swivel. The waste and trash we produced seemed horrendous and excessive.
In the United States, we conveniently have trash cans in which the trash gets taken out of sight and usually out of mind. But the trash we constantly saw in Bua was an uncomfortable reminder that the garbage we produce never really does go away. And in Bua, several of our homes didn't even have trash cans. Instead, trash was thrown out into the yard. But don't we do the same thing at home? We have landfills that are many acres, filled with every kind of trash imaginable, but just because we don't see it, it's still there. And was trash really the big issue? This question unleashed a Pandora's box of new thoughts and ideas and assumptions. Was our aim to have no environmental impact at all? Was our aim to have zero waste? How could we help the environment and really feel like we were helping the environment? What was the direction we were trying to find? In the novel Cradle to Cradle helped us formulate our thoughts and explore the following scenarios.
So every time you take a step in your shoes, your soles release toxic particles into the soil. Every time you readjust on your living room couch, you emit poisons into the air you breathe. Our industries and systems that produce our shoes and couches and all our products need to be this way. Our industry saw serious evolution in the mid-1800s. Modern factories were born, the notion of assembly lines came into existence, and we were able to mass produce products. In the book Cradle to Cradle, Michael Braungart and William McDonough say, resources seemed immeasurably vast. Nature itself was perceived as a Mother Earth who, perpetually regenerative, would absorb all things and continue to grow. As our modern industries evolved, our assumptions that the world was for our taking lived on strongly. We used ore, timber, cattle, land, grain, water abundantly. At the same time, we saw nature as our enemy to be tamed and civilized. Today, most of our industries still work under this mindset. So do we eradicate our industries? They've connected people worldwide and had a hand in providing education, health improvements, and the ability for us to be here in Ecuador. Can we find a way to use our technologies to benefit our world, including us?
Picture an oak tree. Their success is determined by their size, by how many acorns they can produce. The oak tree aims for abundance, for mass production. An oak tree drops its acorns. It litters. Don't we do the same? Is it wrong then to consume, to have products, to buy, if nature herself seems to support abundance? So then, what's the difference between an oak tree's expression of abundance and our expression of abundance? The acorns products of oak trees don't become useless after they're done being an acorn. They go into the earth, provide food for animals, nutrients for the soil, and grow new oak trees. Why can't our products do the same?
What if soda bottles were made to be biodegradable, implanted with a seed, so that when they decompose, they grow into plants that originally helped create materials for the bottle? What if the soles of shoes were biodegradable and detachable? The rest of the shoe could be recycled into a new shoe, using the same materials and at the same quality. What if we designed our cities to be designed like our forests, cool, quiet, but yet full of activity? We learned that our world is round. Can we learn to make our existence round as well? A cycle? Solutions of today aim for less of what our industries do today. Recycling works by reusing materials, but it's hard to keep the quality as it was before without adding new chemicals. Could we improve our recycling system to be more sustainable? Our concept of reduction and doing less of what we currently are doing is a very valuable short-term goal, but will our industries ever really change if we focus on doing less of the same thing? A couple steps into the future, will our less bad be just as bad? How do we truly change the systems, the industries?
Right now, we have this mindset that products reach a useless point. This story of stuff, Annie Leonard points out that our mindset is reflected in our products, which are designed to expire after a certain amount of time, forcing us to buy new products. We produce trash and waste and then we throw it away, but where is away? Anyway, you cut it, the materials are going to return to the earth. And our trash, our waste, our toxins and products of uselessness are going into the earth and it's overwhelming our planet. When an oak tree litters, we don't think of it as littering. We call it acorns dropping from the tree. And this is because an oak tree has found a way to live abundantly while sustaining itself and its surroundings. But what if we intelligently designed our industries and products so that we could live like an oak tree, sustainably as well as healthy and profitable? If we could intelligently design our products to have another purpose, would there be bad consumption, or would there even be stigmas against consumption? We think of littering as waste, as a terrible thing, and we want to do zero of it, but everything in nature wastes and creates byproducts. Animals produce feces, plants disintegrate and die, trees put off pollens and acorns and fruit, and yet everything in nature is cyclical and finds a way to sustain itself for the future generation while also being profitable right now. It incorporates the reality of inevitable change. So could working with nature be the key to a sustainable future while also keeping the industry of humans alive?
Our planet's health as we know it is in decline. However, we should also remember that our world is incredibly resilient. We can fix this. We can help this. The challenging part about fixing it is finding the solution. Perhaps it won't be just one solution, but many. Perhaps our solutions will need to be as diverse and entwined as the nature we see around us. The complexity and workings of our world are astounding, and yet so is the world of human activity. Can we find a way to no longer think of ourselves as separate and apart from the world, but instead actively a part of it? We must dare to believe that we can make a better place, that we can change, and that we can evolve a new system using the good features we have today, our newfound technologies and lessons from the past, both good and bad. As Albert Einstein once said, if we are to solve the problems that plague us, our thinking must evolve beyond the level we were using when we created those problems in the first place.